And we're live.
Ooh.
Oh,
Sure.
here we are. Welcome to Friday Night Videos, where I am talking to another brand badass friend of mine. This is Amber. Is it Ehrlich? Do I ever say that right?
Okay, nobody says it right unless you speak German. But I say it Ehrlich.
Ehrlich.
Er.
Amber Ehrlich. She is a platinum certified now, right? Platinum certified KonMari consultant. And for those of you that don't really know what that is, that would be the whole Marie Kondo craze of tidying up. That's what Amber does. But that's only one thing Amber does, because Amber, you have like 3 businesses or something that you're running right now.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so first is the Tidy Bungalow, like you mentioned, and I declutter and organize with people in their homes and offices. And then the second that I've been doing for 3 years now is Airbnb. So I have 2 Airbnbs. I have an Airstream, a new Airstream in my backyard, and so people love to stay in that, try the trailer life. Mm-hmm. And then I have another one that's I run out of the back half of my house, and so they have their own space, and it's really cool. So I've been doing that one for a year, trailer for 3 years. And then I also have what is called the Tidy Collaborative, and that is where another platinum KonMari consultant who's been really successful, not just like I like to be in people's houses, but we've both made actual businesses, like they pay all of our bills. So I'd say that's a definition of a good business. It pays all your bills and then some. And so we've both been successful in that over the past year and a half. And so we help others that are consultants or those who are in training get to that level as well, because yeah, it's fun to organize, but fun doesn't pay my bills. That does not, but you know.
Well, fun without paying your bills is just a hobby.
Yes.
And we'd like to actually be running businesses. Now, yes. I knew about the Airbnb Airstream, but it's parked when people Airbnb it lives there. They don't get to like Airbnb it and drive it across the country.
I'm the only one that gets to take it out.
Okay. I thought so. I thought you were that smart that is how that would work.
Unless it's with me.
So what got you started? I mean, other than being a serial entrepreneur and chasing pretty shiny things, because we know you like pretty shiny things.
Yes, my focus is varied.
Varied. That's good. That's a great way to put it. So how did you get into all of this in the first place? What made you decide to go do this? What was the impetus?
To be an organizer?
Yeah, to go out and start your own businesses beyond the Airbnb thing.
Okay, so my impetus for real talk is a complete nervous breakdown and hospitalization and near death. And so near death by my own choosing at the time. And so, yeah, it was a lot of past trauma that came up. And honestly, I think the election cycle 4 years ago was really traumatic for me and many other women. And so it just all kind of coalesced. And then working and running a nonprofit full time and all this, it all coalesced into a big, giant spiral of depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts and breakdown. And so, yeah, I walked myself into an ER. And I said, help me. And they were amazing people, and they did. And then I spent a week in a behavioral health unit. And when I came out, I was like, okay, I can't do corporate America anymore, because it is not going to help me heal. And I could just see, like, if I went back into it, that I'd be going down the same exact road. I didn't know if it was going to be 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 2 years. And so I was like, what am I going to do? Turns out I really like to organize things. And so that's what I did. So I live in Phoenix, which is perfect for me because honestly, I feel like a Phoenix because I have created a lovely life that I absolutely love with people that I adore, doing things that are fun, which is basically playing Tetris as an adult. And it all came out of the absolute depths of despair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's some pretty deep stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think organizing has been cathartic for you in putting stuff back together?
Yes, I can walk into a house, and when it's chaotic, it either means people are going in 10 million different directions, or it means that there is a high level of depression in that house. And I've said it before, like my home had been a reflection of my depression because my house was just out of control for like 2 or 3 years because I was doing everything but taking care of myself or taking care of my home. And I see this with my clients. They're on the other side, like they're coming out of the hole and they reach out for help. And so, yeah, this is very cathartic for me. And I knew that I could only heal if I had a space that was conducive to healing.
Wow. That that really strikes a chord with me, I think, because as long as I can remember, I have had the most organized junk drawer of any of my friends, and they've all made fun of me because I felt like if all of the rest of my life was out of control, at least I had control of this junk drawer. Like I could keep everything organized or reorganize so that it had order when everything else was chaotic and crazy. So I think that makes a whole lot of sense. And that said, I still like having, piles of papers everywhere when my mind is thinking about a million things.
Yeah.
But I find that part of my creative process is organizing something. Like,
Yeah. And there's, the balance there. It doesn't have to be like perfect and sanitary, right? And you're not trying to go for that. But it's finding the balance of how the person thinks and what they feel good in. And some people need a lot of bright colors and things around, and that's how they get their creativity out. But other people need a really blank space to actually be able to let their mind work or to focus. And so it's not like a one size fits all. It's a, who are you? How do you think? Where do you feel the most like love and passion and joy in your life? And like, let's make that happen.
so is that how you approach the work with your clients?
Oh yeah. Let's call it therapy through things. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay. So it starts with what they need.
Oh yeah.
And okay.
Like
Take me kind of through that.
So it's important for me, and we always do this with the KonMari method, is asking people about their vision. And some people are really concrete on what their vision is, and other people, they take some time to get there, or they give me basically like a chapter and I try to make it into a sentence or two. And so it's just really important to figure out what their vision is. What is their ideal day like? And how does their house run? Who's in their house? Who are they taking care of? And focusing a solution around them. But no matter what, it starts with decluttering. I've never
Wow.
somebody who needs 100% of the things currently in their home.
Okay. Now, this is something fascinating, and this has to do, well, it's fascinating to me because I love brands. And so when you started doing this, so many KonMari consultants or other people who have an umbrella brand that they can come in under decide to make a personal brand and make it all about Amber. And you decided, and we didn't work together on your brand. I've come in and played with you since then, and even hired you to help me figure out my messes. But you decided, first thing, I'm creating this brand that's not me, though it's really blended with you.
Yeah.
What and how did you come about and decide to go that route?
How did I become the tidy bungalow?
Yeah.
Well, I decided to go with Marie Kondo's method because it's what worked for me in my home, and it's what I could get training on and become certified in and go through all that fun stuff. And so it resonated with me, and I knew that I could be organized, but I need a method to work with other people because I knew how to do it for myself, but this really allowed me the tools to do it with other people. And then of course, her thing is tidying up, and I live in a 1935 bungalow. So I live in a historic home and I love my house. If you could legally marry a residence, I would marry my house because I love my house that much. It's just the greatest place on earth. And it's a bungalow. So it was just, I'm the tidy bungalow. It made sense. Definitely, and it kind of goes back and forth with, when I started, nobody really knew who Marie Kondo was. Now people do due to the Netflix series that came out last year. But yeah, it's always been using her method, right? And drawing on that whenever I can, whenever it's very useful to me, but knowing that I'm the face of my business. I'm the person that works with my clients. I'm the one doing, 100% of my business. And I'm the tidy bungalow. And it's just, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'll be the tidy bungalow. Like there wasn't brainstorming or anything. It was just obvious. And I typed it in and bought the URL because was available. Of course it was.
Because it was meant to be.
Yeah.
How the personality, the style, it's very clean lines. Everything you've done with your Tidy Bungalow brand is, well, shall we say tidy?
Yes.
um how does that contrast with who you are versus or is it completely infused with the new you that came into being a few years ago?
Um, okay, so like the details of my brand were always very obvious to me. The font I had found a few years prior doing work on some home tours, and I knew that I'm the Tidy Bungalow, I'm in houses, I need an architectural font, and it's something I fell in love with. So it's something, a font I'd paid good money for and purchased years prior. So I used that. And honestly, it's been inspiration for my home. My colors are actually from the interior wall colors of my house. So I figured out my RGBs and my hexes and my HSLs and whatever these things are. And so it's like I took the inspiration from my house and I use that. So it's things that I love, and it is very clean lines. How can you have an organizing business and have a really busy website, or have a really crappy business card? Like, you can't be an organizer and just have like all this visual vomit on your website or anywhere. It's not going to work well for me. I really like clean lines and design, and I just think it's going to give the wrong message. If you have too much shit on your website. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. An organizer needs a brand that makes you look organized.
Yeah, and like white space I think is important. You can open cabinets and they can be empty. Like it's permissible. You can have a wall without something on it. You can have a website and design with white space.
Good. Good. And you've taught yourself all of this.
Yes.
Like the website, the everything.
Yes, this was from the years that I ran a nonprofit, and I didn't want to put the nonprofit only had so much of a budget, and so I couldn't afford within our budget to hire a really great web designer or redo everything. And when I came into the organization, became president like 2014 or 15, something like that, the website and all the branding was like smack dab out of 1992, and it drove me up the wall, and there was just no clarity of message or consistency of visuals. And so I did all that because it was important to me, and communication was really important to me, and clarity of message. And so without the budget, I learned, and it's so served me well. It's served me the best.
That's amazing. And you are, I would say, like so many of us who start out as solopreneurs and start to build our business, when you begin, you have all that time to work in the business or on the business, I guess work on the business, so you can play with that and you can massage it and you can make sure it's right and all of that. And then you get to a point where you and I have been talking more recently, where you're saying, I have to like keep a calendar and a schedule because I'm working with clients and I'm doing more in the businesses as much as I am on it. Tell me how that has changed how you approach all of that and what the details, because I know you are extremely detail oriented, unlike some of us. So, so how has that helped you get your shit together?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was a lot of playing around with things because there's a lot of time, right? There was like a lot of time, but no clients. And now there's a lot of clients and not as much time, which is fantastic. And I'd say in the beginning, I thought it was going to be like the one magical marketing piece or the one perfect social media post was going to get all the clients, but it's been more consistency over time. And now that I do have a steady flow of clients, and it just takes time. Now I just, I have a business card. I have a postcard that I really like. I change something on my website maybe every 4 or 5 months that needs to be updated. But otherwise, it's been time that's been, just a blessing being in the business and having consistency of clients. And so now I'm not worried about those specific things that I honestly thought if I create the perfect flyer, I'm gonna get like 100 clients.
Mm-hmm.
And if I speak in front of a group of people, I'm going to be busy for 5 years. And it's just been more the day-to-day consistency of following up with people and having, honestly, a really solid brand. It's not a big brand. It's a very narrow focused brand. And I have the foundation of what I need. And now I realize I don't have to chase things all over the place.
I
But
love that. Because
working
we've
with
done
people,
that. We've chased it.
oh yeah. And working with people in the Tidy Collaborative, they just went through their training 2 or 3 months ago. They don't have any paying clients, right? Like they're in so many different places right now. And, it's just kind of like, what are the basics? What are the super basics? But somebody's like, I'm going to get all these followers on Instagram. I was like, which is fun, but it doesn't translate to paying clients. And it's like, what directly translates to paying clients? And then what's just kind of like fun, or like you said, chasing sparkly things. Cause I chased a lot of sparkly things for a good year.
I love that you built the Tidy Collaborative basically to help people avoid all the fuck ups that you tripped over the first, what did you say, 2 years? Basically, you took 2 years of mistakes and gave them all the solutions up front so they could get a running start.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of fun, shiny things to, chase out there. There's a lot of squirrels, and by all means, like do that in your free time. But these are the absolute, like, this is the foundation you need to have to get paying clients. And then you can go from there. If you want to have 20,000 Instagram followers, have fun with that work. I just rather be in somebody's home making $1,000 in a day, but that's me.
Okay. And success is all about what you want.
Yeah.
So in that path to success, Amber, the question that I'm always so fascinated with is, what's the biggest fuck up you made in business, and what did you learn from it? How are you avoiding it in the future? How are you helping others avoid it? What is it?
So the biggest fuck up I ever made was not listening to a client. Or actually not listening, just making assumptions without consulting a client. And so what happened is I've been actually working with these clients for nearly 2 years now. They're my longest term clients, and they're just these 2 women that are absolutely amazing. And I was cleaning up one of their offices one day, and I knew some things, like she's written a lot of screenplays, so I knew to keep all of her writings, but there's just a lot of extraneous paper and bank statements and all this stuff. And so I was doing the evaluation of what to keep and what to go. And when I don't know, I always put things in a pile for them to review. But what I did is I decided, without asking, that her sorority list from the mid 70s was not current, had no value whatsoever. And so it went into the shredding pile. And the next time I saw him about a month later, she said, I don't have that list anymore. And, when I walked in, they're like, we have something we need to talk to you about. And I was like, oh shit, of course, what did I do? And I'm so grateful that they sat me down and they talked to me about that, because this was only a few months into what I was doing. And they had that really hard conversation with me, because, and then I'm like getting teary now, but I had to try so hard not to cry, because it is my goal to not do things wrong in life. And I knew that I had let them down, but they gave me a chance to learn, and versus just kind of ghosting on me or disappearing or saying, you're not going to work with you anymore. So I'm lucky that I got that so early on. And that they shared their feelings with me, and then let me apologize profusely and learn from this horrible mistake that I made. And I shared this story last fall when I was in LA. Marie Kondo was training a few hundred more people out in LA to do what I do. And, we got up on stage and we were sharing all the great things about KonMari and what we do and our businesses and our successes. But when it's, they asked about, what's the greatest lesson? I was like, this is the greatest lesson, is like, you're human and you're going to mess up. It's inevitable. But hopefully you have clients that are so gracious that they'll let you learn from it. And that will always stand out as one of my greatest lessons. And my clients, like I said, 2 years later, we're still together today, and I'm so grateful to them.
Wow, that's an incredible story, because it was painful, but they gave you the opportunity to grow from it and grow through it. That's leadership. I need to meet those people, Amber.
They just, it could have turned out so many different ways. And I know that my decision hurt them, And I know that their words, I was hurt, and affected by my own actions, but I also learned, right? That's something I can take with me. And so I'm so lucky to have had that so early on versus, people that kind of go silent or disappear. And then I don't know what I did. So now I take that into consideration when I'm working with people and making decisions on things, to have really clear boundaries and conversations.
Good, 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 good. Um, yeah, that's a big one. That's a big fuck up to learn from. Are there any other that might not be other lessons that could really help someone else that you've thought of that aren't quite that big?
Yeah, so here's something I like to do. I am so the person that if I throw money at something, especially big money, it's magically going to have like ridiculous results, right? And so something I'm very impulsive at throwing business money at things, for a magical result versus really thinking about it. And that's, tens of thousands of dollars, like, 30, 40, $50,000 later here, 2.5 years into this, probably a good 40 or 50,000. I've learned things. I've jumped into things that maybe weren't going to serve me best, but how would I have known then? And so now it allows me to, when when I just want to throw money at something to make it easier, I have to take a step back, and it's like, who do I call and ask these questions? Who do I run this over with? Is this really going to be the best for me? So I'd say that's a big thing. I think spending money to improve your business is huge and important, and it's necessary, but I know it's just made me, because I've thrown so much money at things, it's made me hopefully a little bit more reflective.
Good. So you're more intentional about where you spend and how you spend.
Yeah, and it's like, am I going to get a return on investment? What is it going to look like? Is it going to be money return on investment? Is it going to be happiness? Is it going to be ease? Or have I really thought this through?
I love that you're saying that, because I have to say I hear more often the opposite end of that, right? Where, well, I can just do it all. I'll just keep doing this. I'll, do everything from A to Z for my business, work myself into the ground, and not even do things that are my best use, because I'm not willing to pay somebody an hourly wage to help me out as an assistant. That's complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Well, I've run myself into the ground, and that's not good for my mental health. So I won't do it. I just won't do it.
Good.
So
You are one of those people who has the strongest boundaries of anybody I know.
it's true. Like
My
my
hat's off to you.
is a good 50% or less than yours. But you really thrive from working, and like working all the darn time. Like you thrive in this area because somebody telling you to relax is very stressful to you. Um, I thrive in an area of Hulu and phone games. Let's just say, like, when I'm in somebody's home, like, I'm very physical, like the work's very efficient. I really, really love it. And this is something I found. I love the physical work of what I do. I love the communication. I love talking with my clients. But I have come to learn that sitting in front of a computer is now my new version of like hell. So that's why I'm here today, because I have to take myself out of my lovely environment to put myself in actually quite a lovely environment, but something that's isolated, that doesn't distract me. And yeah, now I can focus and do computer things.
Shut yourself in the library.
And
Nice. Okay, if people are interested to learn more about you, to hire you, to work with you, to stay in one of your Airbnb properties, how should they locate you?
okay, I am the Tidy Bungalow anywhere and everywhere. So thetidybungalow.com. And if you do thetidybungalow.com/III, because it's just go with me here, that's going to link to like my Airbnbs and everything else. It's, like on Instagram, you can link tree and stuff, but that seems weird to drive traffic to a third party. And so my Instagram is thetidybungalow.com/III, because then basically I have a link tree page on my website.
I.
For Instagram.
Okay.
That's where I have that's where I have the links to everything.
Okay. So anybody interested can go to thetidybungalow.com. And if they want to see all of the offerings of Amber, It's thetidybungalow.com/III.
Yes. It should
As
be
in
like,
3 Roman numerals, but not capital.
yes. Yes. So yeah, just, you can Google me. I'm pretty Googleable.
You are Googleable.
I'm the tidy bungalow Googleable.
Okay. Anything else you want to add today, Amber?
Thank you for being in my life. You're amazing and awesome. And that's been the best thing about my business. Obviously, my clients are amazing. Living my life is amazing. But the business women that I've met, including you, and the friendships I have gained have been the best part of what I do.
Oh, I could say the same. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I
Okay.
will see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, Jeffri-Lynn.